afternoon, my conscious co-creators. Welcome to another edition of the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. I am very, very pleased that you are here with us today. Oh, we've got a wonderful show in store for you with a great guest in studio. And we already got some viewers on our Facebook live stream. Welcome, Priya. Thank you so much for tuning in. And John Roche. Wow, are you back from Italy already? Wonderful. Oh, and here they come piling in. Angela, John, thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, and like, you're very fortunate. We have a really fascinating guest who's actually been on the show. We were just trying to figure out how long ago it was, but it's been a little while. But first, of course, let's get started with our quotes of the day from the universe and from Abraham. Let's see what the universe and Abraham have in store for us today. First, from the universe. One way to defeat invisible, limiting beliefs, even ones you may not know you have, is to simply dream of a life so grand that they couldn't possibly make sense. And then start living that life today, however humbly at first. En garde, the universe. We love our quotes from Mike Dooley in the universe. And I think this is a really interesting quote from the universe today about limiting beliefs, and as he says, it's, sometimes we don't even know the limiting beliefs we have. And it's not until we sort of stretch a little bit, it's not until we try and step outside our comfort zone, try and do something different, that all of a sudden, there's this belief, no, this can't happen for me, or that's not right, or, these different things happen, and it's like, oh, there's a little limiting belief there. Or it's even just such a part of our habits, of just the way we are, that we don't even realize or notice them. And so what the universe is saying here is that the way to kind of dissolve them and get past them and not have to worry about them is to just dream, imagine, visualize, like your life is so amazing and so tremendous that somebody in that position would not have limiting beliefs. I mean, we all would have some, I'm sure even people like Richard Branson has some kind of limiting beliefs, but at a much different level than perhaps you or I do. And so by putting ourselves, creating this image in our minds of being so far beyond these limiting beliefs that they don't even make sense, you kind of short circuit the nervous system, and it's like, how can I have a limiting belief if this is the life I'm living? And then I think the most important part that the universe is saying here is start living that life today, no matter how humbly at first. Baby steps. Baby steps can be so important. And so we see ourselves, as Mike Dooley likes to say, with our million army of followers, with all these amazing people that we're touching in our lives, and the amazing experiences we have, and where we're traveling to, and how we're living, and the people we come across, to just dream it, visualize it, like make it as multi-sensory as possible. What does it feel like? What clothes are you wearing? What's the temperature outside when you're on that beach in Hawaii? What's going on? And like really take it in. They say the mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real experience. So when we vividly imagine something that's so far beyond what we are already living, that, this idea of even having limiting beliefs is just kind of silly, and the nervous system just blows them out. So a wonderful quote from Mike Dooley in the universe. We love it. I think pretty apropos for our guest and our topic today. Wait till you hear about that. Okay, let's see what Abraham has for us today. You can never have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. Ooh, we've had this quote before, but it's a really good one. It doesn't work out that way. The way you're feeling along the way is the way you're continuing to pre-pave your journey. And it's the way it's going to continue to turn out until you do something about the way you are feeling. Abraham. So basically what Abraham is saying here is that it's not we're trying to get to a happy destination so we can have an unhappy journey in the process and we could still end up happy. It's not that like, we are struggle and having such a hard time and all the awful stuff is happening and, but everything's going to be great and happy at the end. No. The point is to have a happy journey all along the way, no matter how much we stumble, no matter how many times we scratch our knees, no matter how many blisters we get. It's a learning how to be happy along our path, and the happier we are along our path, the happier, in the end, it's not about the destination. Because think about it. Anytime we create a goal, anytime we have some achievement that we're going for, what happens once we get that achievement? What happens once we reach that goal? What's the next goal? Where do we go from here? Right? We take a little bit of time to celebrate, happy dance. And then it's like, where do we go from here? Because the journey never ends. As long as we have breath in our life, as long as we're above ground, right? Any day above ground is a good day. As long as there's one more step to take, we continue on our journey. And so it's not about the destination. People, get this out of your heads. It's not about the destination. It's about how we live our life. Life, the entirety of our life is a journey. And we're going to be talking about walking on our journeys quite a lot today. So it's a wonderful and highly apropos quote from Abraham today. I hope you guys get it. Right? These two quotes work wonderfully together. Visualize this amazing life and then happily live our life on our path to there. It'll be wonderful. It'll be great. And I'm so glad you all are with me on this path. I love you, my followers, my listeners. Welcome, Julian, Barbara, and Susan. Congratulations. Glad you're back. Checked out our guest and sounds great. Wonderful. Gary, Jackie, welcome to the Facebook live stream. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. Time for me to, I want to switch around my Facebook live stream. There we go. How did that happen? And let me introduce you to my guest today. There she is. You see, you don't have to look at me all for the entire hour. You get to see my beautiful guest, Jana Hexter. Jana works with intuitive women in midlife who are ready for a shift and are determined to live life to the fullest and contribute to the world in a way that is really fulfilling. She's a multi-sentient intuitive, having the capacity to see, hear, feel, and know information from beyond the physical realm. So you have all the clairs, huh?
I do.
All right.
Except smell. Don't have smell.
Except smell. What do you call that? Clear?
I don't know.
Smellient? I don't know. She also has the capacity to connect with those who have passed. As a unique bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, Jana provides a fresh perspective by accessing universal consciousness at a deep level for people who are committed to expanding their awareness to create a better here and now. She especially enjoys serving as a guide for people who are at the leading edge of our global transition into consciousness. As a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, Jana provides fresh perspective at a deep level with her clients with life-changing results. It is a pleasure to have you back. It's been quite a while since you were last here, and thank you so much for making the effort to come down in studio today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
All right. So somewhere. I'll have to dig out and make sure it gets posted to a SoundCloud account. The first interview I had with Jana, so you could get a lot of her background there. We're not going to talk too much about the background. What we are going to talk about is a very recent journey she took on the Camino de Santiago, walking that 500-mile-long path, which is a spiritual pilgrimage recently. And so we're going to be talking all about journeys today. So, Jana, I just want to ask, first of all, maybe you can just briefly describe the Camino and this whole idea of the pilgrimage and how it got started. And then maybe we'll, if we have time before the break, which we probably won't, when we come back, we'll talk about what made you decide to walk the Camino. So let's start with, what is the Camino?
So the Camino is a Catholic ancient pilgrimage. Actually, it's been for 1,000 years.
Wow.
It goes from, officially the beginning is Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which is in France, in the French Pyrenees, and then goes all the way to Santiago de Compostela, which means Santiago of the Stars. And supposedly the route is aligned with the Milky Way, so it's on the same plane as the Milky Way. And all along the route are fountains. It's just incredible. There's just these water fountains almost in every village. And somebody on the route said to me, it's almost like the earth is coming up to kiss the stars, which I just loved.
Ooh, I like that.
And so the Catholics, when the region was a Muslim territory, the Catholics supposedly found some bones of a saint and created a relic place that people could come and make a pilgrimage. And back in the Middle Ages, 250,000 people would travel the route. As many went to Jerusalem, went to Santiago.
Okay.
And I believe actually it's been there way before that. I feel like I really felt it actually, that it's an ancient pathway, and a little bit beyond Santiago is the sea, and a place called Finisterre, where there used to be an altar to the sun because the sun would set in the west. And so it feels to me like it's been an ancient pagan pilgrimage along that pathway to the sea, but there's no evidence of it. It just
at this point, right. So let's just say in its current incarnation,
yes.
as a Catholic pilgrimage, but it draws not just Catholics. I mean, all kinds of people are drawn to do this pilgrimage.
Yes, and people. There were many Catholics on the route. I'm not, but. And people from all over the world. We constantly would be walking with people from Korea and Australia and South Africa, all over the world, and it was a really beautiful experience actually because of that. It really was a global experience.
Interesting.
Yes.
Who was it? Wasn't there a famous movie star that walked the Camino not that long ago?
Yes.
That wrote a book about it? Who was it?
Yes.
Was it Shirley MacLaine?
Shirley MacLaine, yes.
Yeah, it was Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she wrote a book about it.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's take our first break. And when we come back, let's talk about why you decided to walk the Camino, and we'll start getting into what you learned walking the Camino. So everybody, please stay tuned. You're listening to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. We're live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're live on our Facebook live stream. Thank you, Phil, for joining us, and we will be right back after these messages.